Spear misses with the shot. No, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Open your cans of West End, because that is the ball game.
Well, it was almost indescribable because of the pressures that had developed. But the year before, having gone to the grand final and lost in the grand final, that sort of lives with you for a whole year, and you want to purge it from your memory. You don't want to go through another year with that on your conscience or on your mind that you've dropped it again. So we wanted to set a level of excellence on the court that had never been equal before, and I think the 36ers did that. And I never had a feeling as what it was quite like after winning that championship game. The whole city went crazy.
But winning the flag wasn't good enough for some of the club's hierarchy, and they decided not to re-engage Ken Cole as club coach.
When I first was told that maybe you've become more popular than the so-called game itself here in the city of Adelaide, my first reaction was to laugh. I said, well, I've got into trouble for a lot of things in the past, but being overpopular has never been one of them. I've never tried to do anything that I thought was damaging to the game. I've done stupid things from time to time, and which is an instantaneous reaction sometimes right after a game. But basically all the things you try and do are develop it, and I'm a bit disappointed that you can win as consistently and not be still coaching, I suppose.
However, Ken hasn't been idle since his release from the 36ers. Along with the enterprising chairman of the Sydney Supersonics, Michael Wroblewski, Cole has put together the SWEPS Basketball Classic. It's a pre-season tournament involving the 14 NBL clubs to be played at Homebush State Sports Centre in Sydney.
I think it'll be the biggest basketball tournament ever held in Australia, and probably the most ambitious because it's being run over a 4-day period. And previously there have been other club championship type events run over a week, but nothing like this for the last 8 years.
And the Classic could get bigger in the years to come.
I went to the States and issued an invitation to Louisiana State University. They went to the Final Four in the States last year, and they're down, I think, to the last 8 again this year, so they're a high-quality team. They intimated that they'd be very interested in coming down. I think we should look at somebody like the New Zealand national champions. Their national league is fairly strong, but it's all going to depend now on the time factors, when it's played and who's available during that period.
How does Australia's basketball standard compare with overseas teams?
I think it's high as far as the National Basketball League itself goes. I think the top teams in the NBL, from what I saw in the States on this recent visit, I think we'd compete very favourably with the upper echelon of college teams. I don't think we could have said that 6 or 7 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago. So I think we'd compete well now. But of course we've also got quite a number of imports in these teams. So how much the Australian standard has risen is problematical.
Calvin Bruton, what an amazing shot.
I was one of the few people for years and years that argued vigorously to restrict the number of imports in the league. I think we've given the public a product now that they like and enjoy, and I don't think we can water it down much. And I'd just like to see the Australian kids become more competitive and say, well, we can make it. I think they've got to realise that there's a price to pay if they want to be great, and if we've got Americans that are in front of them, they've got to be competitive enough to push them out.
While Cole is seen as an aggressive character, he'd be classed as mild in American basketball, where coaches' fiery antics are often mimicked at school.
Bobby Knight threw a chair at somebody last year. Well, not that you don't feel like it from time to time, you know, or ask why there's rules against not hitting referees, but they expect me to get after them a little bit, and I think it's good for the crowd, you know. I mean, I think we're in the entertainment business, and when you step out there, you're entertaining.
Cole's having a break from coaching, but as an administrator with the Sydney Supersonics, he'll still be promoting basketball.
I think what we have to do is put a winning product on the floor, and we have to encourage the average sports fan to come out. We've got to get away from just the basketball fan and get the people that like to go watch cricket and football and so forth and say, well, you come out and see basketball, you'll find that it's a very, very exciting night.
Here comes Tender. You betcha.
I would think within 2 years we should be playing in front of 10 or 12,000 every game.
The bucket has the ball.
And that's the Cole philosophy. Produce winning teams and give the fans value for money.
plenty of exciting cutthroat basketball out here with no prize for second place in this $10,000 tournament. And another thrilling quarter-final clash. The Canberra Cannons in blue had a tough battle with the Illawarra Hawks. It was a rough and tumble affair with the Cannons taking the full 4 periods to get on top of the Hawks to get through to the semis with a 9-point win, 110 to 101. In the last quarter-final, the Sydney Supersonics battled the bounce with last year's NBL premiers, the Adelaide 36ers, in the red strip. Playing on their home ground, the Sonics seemed to have the champions' measure, and with a little help from their friends, they had an 8-point lead at half-time. But the champions fought back in the final period to come up winners. So that's the situation here at the State Sports Centre, with the first of the semi-finals tonight between the Perth Wildcats and the Canberra Cannons. Followed at 9 o'clock with the second semi-final between the Adelaide 36ers and the undefeated Brisbane Bullets.
So if you're in town tonight, come out and watch me, Herb McEachin, and the Canberra Cannons make mincemeat of the Perth Wildcats.
Thanks, Herb. I'm with him. Now back to you, Ian Maurice, at the Sports Desk.